Hello, boys and ghouls. Welcome to episode 144 of Dads from the Crypt. My name is Jason. Tonight, joined by Jody.
Hello.
And Mondo.
144. That's a gross. I don't know if you know that.
That's right. That is the right term.
If someone ever says, I want a gross of whatever, they want 144.
12 times 12.
Good to know.
Yeah.
That's a lesson for everybody listening right now. That's free.
I learned it from Beavis and Butthead because when they're dragging an oil can or an oil dumpster around trying to sell a barrel of oil to Tom Anderson, he goes, and he thinks this is like maggot. He's like, oh, you're selling guns and ammo. I'll take a gross. That's 144. And that's how I know.
There you go.
There we go. We all learned something from Beavis and Butthead. And joining us is the wonderful Aunt Whitney. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm out here just learning so much about gross and Beavis and Butthead. I love it.
All right. Whitney, what have you been up to? How are you?
I'm good. I'm fun employed and really, emphasizing that fun part. I've been watching a lot of movies, playing video games. I've been playing Jedi Survivor, and it is fantastic. Hoping to finish that up soon and then move to Alan Wake 2 because I've been waiting forever. I want it to be on sale and it hasn't been on sale yet. So I'm hoping by the time I finish Jedi Survivor, it goes on sale at least like 10%.
Yeah, my son is playing Jedi Survivor and I'm playing Alan Wake right now. So
there you go. Very topical.
I bought Alan Wake 2 the week it came out. I put 1.5 hours into the game.
That's why I don't buy games when they come out unless I know I'm going to play them, because I got Jedi Survivor for like 40% off, but I swear like 3 to 4 weeks later it went on Game Pass and I was like, damn it. But it's okay. It's so good. I'm glad to own it. It's very fun.
Yeah.
See, I had a week off work to play it, but then that's when the pipe burst in my house. I had to get my whole house repiped. So I was so frustrated. I'm like, I don't want a bad memory of playing this game because of this.
Yeah, that's fair.
Have you played?
I will tell you, in that game, there's a lot of flooding. Like you have to go through flooded areas and clear out the flooding. So maybe not the best timing for that anyway.
No.
It would be very triggering.
Every time you enter a flooded area, just no.
Whitney, have you played El Paso Elsewhere?
No, but what's really funny is I was going through my internet tabs and you have a million tabs open. And that is one that's in my tab and you must have recommended it or it must have been talking about it in Spooky Gaming because it's there and I was like, I don't remember this, but it's staying there because I feel like I need to look at that because somebody recommended it.
Yeah, I like the old school Max Payne, but with a Lovecraftian twist.
That sounds good.
The really good soundtrack. Gets a little repetitive in the middle.
Yeah.
But it finds little ways. But that's
I think we were talking about that after Evil West because I played that and beat it and had a lot of fun. And then there was another cowboy game. I don't know. I'm just trying to get some backlog games. I did download Little Kitty in the Big City. So,
I played that entire game. Like, I played that game.
It looks really good.
If you want to indulge in some various substances and get real kind of giggly and play that game for a whole night, you'll have a good time.
Oh, perfect. Say that
personally.
I will do that. I need, sometimes I need a break between.
It's nice. It's a
games.
Gentle little game and you collect hats for a cat, Sometimes you just need that.
Goes great with meth. Just saying.
By substances, I do mean meth. Just straight up.
I was just going to go for fentanyl, but I'll back it down for meth.
Yeah, at least meth, you'll get addicted and totally ruin your life. But it won't kill you the first time you do it.
I mean, maybe the first couple of times you'll even clean the house really well before you spiral. Enjoy those first few days.
Don't do drugs, kids.
My aunt, who I will name by her first name, no, I will not. But she was definitely a meth head. She said she wasn't. And when I was living at home, she stayed at our house one time, and I came down. I just got off work, and I got off work around midnight. So I came home, and I hear this like scratching sound. I'm like, what the fuck is that noise? And she has a piece of steel wool and our salt shaker and is just scrubbing it in the dark.
Oh, God.
Meth is a hell of a drug.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Speaking of which, Whitney, how's it going with Oh My Horror?
Well, we don't have any meth horror themed weeks,
You don't
but
have a meth week?
maybe for 2025. But Oh My Horror actually is fully up to date. That is another thing that I have done during fun employment is fill out the rest of the year because it was getting up to like June or July, and that's when I had all the lists, and it's getting close to that time. So I finally sat down. And right now, as of recording, we are in Indonesian Horror Week, which I'm excited about because there's a lot of Indonesian horror films to watch. It's something that like just I feel like in the last 5-10 years has just like really boomed in terms of their horror. Some other fun themes we have coming up is Sweaty Horror Week. I'm very excited for that one of just horror films that like visually people are very sweaty. Not try hard, not the video game sweaty term. And then I'm also happy another theme that we're doing and I was really excited about is an Indian horror week. So horror films that are from India, because that's another kind of genre of like, you know, I think when we think of international horror, we know Korean, we know Japanese, we know French. But it's really fun to visit some of these other countries that have horror movies that maybe we know like one or two of, but then like explore more from there. So it's going well, and you can check that out at ohmyhorror.com.
Awesome. All right. We have some programming notes. As you may have heard this year, the Chattanooga Film Festival is doing a tribute to the Twilight Zone. Therefore, the dads from the Crypt will be entering another dimension by covering Twilight Zone the movie to coincide with their film festival at the end of June. And to prepare for that, every week between now and then, we will be watching and reviewing one of the episodes of the Twilight Zone that each segment from the movie is based on. So pretty much June is Twilight Zone month at Dads from the Crypt.
Nice.
So stay tuned.
I'm also just finding out about this too, so.
Yeah. News to me.
I'm excited.
Yes.
I don't pay attention.
The Twilight Zone is such like comfy horror for me. Like it's one of those things I grew up watching, and like Sci-Fi Channel always does their New Year's Eve marathon, and we're not partiers. Like I come from not partiers as well, so I remember, you know, decades of New Year's Eves just being watching Twilight Zone. So yeah, I'm down.
I
Love
haven't watched much Twilight Zone, so
Oh,
I'm very excited.
there's
Like,
so
I watch
many
like
good ones.
random ones,
Yeah.
but you know, I'm excited to dive into this.
Yeah.
I think you'll have a good time.
Yeah, if you do want to, I know there's like there's at least one, but I'm sure there's more than one podcast that, you know, reviews along and listens. And there's like the Twilight Highlight Zone or something, maybe like that was one I listened to. And it was really good because I grew up watching those and just with my dad, and we had a Twilight Zone book that I would always go through, and Eye of the Beholder is the one that always sticks with me for sure. Or, of course,
Same.
and I think the one you'll probably watch is about, I can't remember his name, but he puts people in the cornfield. And I know there's that Jack in the Box, and they listen to Perry Como. And I'm like, I don't know who Perry Como is, but I know because of that Twilight Zone episode, there's a person named Perry Como that sings.
All right, but tonight we are capping off this run, at least, of Creepshow reviews with the Creepshow Holiday Special. So, Jody, give us a plot synopsis.
All right. So first off, Merry Christmas to everyone here in May.
I have my
Ooh,
Holiday Joe Bob shirt on.
Nice.
Perfect.
Just for the occasion.
very topical. I like it.
Yes.
All right. So our story tonight is called Shapeshifters Anonymous. And we meet a guy named Robert who thinks he is a murderer. And so he is searching for answers at the This is going to be fun. I'm really excited about this, but I can't say the name of the episode. Shapeshifters Anonymous support group. It's a support group for were creatures, not just werewolves. Werewolves are actually very rare. The members consist of a former Marine who can turn into a were tortoise, a teacher who can turn into a were cheetah, and is apparently, cats get in heat sometimes, and I think this lady may be as well.
She was very horny.
Was. We have Andy, who is a were-boar, and a furry named Phyllis, who hangs out with everybody else and wants to be a hippopotamus. And then there is also a silent, mysterious man named Ryan, who comes to every meeting and says nothing. Great cast, fun group of people already. So they try to figure out, Robert has these moments where he keeps like losing time, and he's going to the doctor because he is pooping out coins and various bits of metal and cloth. And so he starts realizing, wait, it's because I'm running around eating people. I am this killer that's on the news. Thankfully, though, he does find out they're all bad people anyway, so it's fine. But they try to test to figure out what kind of were thing he is. They touch some, various herbs and things like that. The catnip does not affect him, but it makes the horny cheetah lady even hornier. I mean, this lady, she's ready to go.
Maybe I kind of want to rewatch it and see like when the horny starts, because I'm wondering if it was the catnip.
I think it kind of
but she was kind of flirty.
Before
Yeah.
that, but that definitely accelerated.
She was very happy to have another person there.
This episode confirmed to me that I am not into furries. Being a furry is your thing. More power to you. Nothing but respect. Like, you be used, don't hurt anybody. But yeah, I was like, nah, does nothing for me.
No.
But
when she cheetahs out, I was like, okay.
Maybe the
She kept her
turtle a little
pants
bit.
on, which was interesting.
I mean,
Maybe the tail is too hard.
I'm just going to say, if you were a special effects makeup person and you have to do a full body lady cheetah, you're going to have some questions that you may not want to answer. And so, yeah, just leave some of the clothes on.
It's the whole phenomenon.
Yeah. All right. But he touches some wolfsbane and it discovers he actually is a werewolf. And at that point, they start chanting together like they're, like words of affirmation. And then all of a sudden they say something about like, I will stay away from the evil Kris Kringle and Santa Claus. And so that's when we get our backstory. All right. So they pull out a book, the Book of Bob, which is a long forgotten biblical book. And that's where we learn about Bob, who was a werewolf, the first werewolf. And in this world, God got Kris Kringle he gave him special powers to battle Bob. I'm making sure I'm saying all this theology right. I don't want to offend any werewolves.
Well, he gave Bob the power to be a werewolf, but then Bob, it basically the story of Lucifer. Bob got a little bit too arrogant, and then so now, as God likes to do, he has to smite people that are happy for themselves.
I have no pride.
Yeah.
Only me. Only I can have pride.
Oh, you're happy that you did something cool? Hell.
So anyway, Kris Kringle eventually becomes prideful with his killings and needs to be taught a lesson. He lost the battle to Bob. And so then Kris Kringle defected to Lucifer, who gave him a pair of weapons known as the Satan's Claws. And they're these three, claw fingers that he uses to attack with. This, by the way, all of this is excellent. I have no notes. Yes, perfect. Love it. It's perfect. And so then a mob finds them. They apparently followed our main guy, Rob, here. And they get attacked by a huge group of mall Santas. Hundreds of them just storming into their place. And so at that point, what is his name? Ryan says, hey, there is something we can do. You can become your animal form, but keep your senses. to use to fight them. And so everyone drinks their stuff, including Phyllis the furry, who turns into nothing because she is not a shapeshifter.
Inside, in her heart, she is.
Heart, yes.
In her heart, she is. But then after killing all of the Santa Clauses in a very fun fight scene, then Kris Kringle himself comes, and at that point, Ryan transforms, and we realize that Ryan is Bob, the biblical Bob. And so he gets squared up with Santa and his Satan Claus, and just as they're about to fight, then Phyllis decapitates him, and his head falls off, he dies. Bob is left kind of going, oh, okay, cool, thanks, I guess. This was a big epic showdown, but okay.
He says something like, I didn't know you could just do that.
I also feel like his name would have been better as Robert, because then the Bob would have made more sense. And like afterwards, even when that happened, I was like, oh, that makes sense. His name's Robert. But then you said that his name's Ryan and Robert's the other guy. And I'm like, that's a missed opportunity.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Or they could have been just trying to do a red herring kind of thing. That's where I thought I got out of it.
But then once Kris Kringle is dead, then Ryan, I guess he can grant powers too as part of his werewolfness. Sure, why not? And what he gives them is the ability to change at will and maintain control of their animal forms. But Phyllis wants to be a were-hippopotamus, and he said he can't do that. But there is something you can do. There may be some Christmas magic left in Kris Kringle. So sit on his lap and make a wish for the thing you want the most. The decapitated Santa Claus on the ground. Sit on his lap and make a wish for the thing your heart desires the most. And so she sits down, she makes a wish, and we assume she's wishing to be a were-hippopotamus. But then suddenly the rapper Lil Yachty walks out and promises to get her $100 million at the bank and make love to her all night. And so she got what she really wanted.
And, see you next week.
And, that was the best line.
She's like, I'm good with just being a furry. Goodbye.
And then at that point, we end with Robert and our were-cheetah going back to her place. He asked her on a date. She's like, yeah, screw that. Let's just go get together and have sex up at my place.
She is
a horny cheetah.
California king in the leash. That's
a California king and a leash.
When he goes, everyone has a king size bed. I was dying.
I don't. I was like, damn it.
No, I'm just saying he was trying to cock block himself at that point.
Everyone has a king size bed. But anyway, yeah, that's our story. It's delightful. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, I'm like 8 out of 10 on this, or 8 out of 5 on this one. I love this, but we'll talk about it. This is made for me. This is my nonsense right here.
Jody, when I heard that you were having some internet difficulties, I was really worried you wouldn't be on, because I, for some reason, expect Jason to not like it as much as you or I did.
This was made for me. We have all these crazy werewolf things. We have the crazy were-tortoise, like becoming a giant turtle man, like he looked like a Power Ranger like enemy. It was incredible.
Oh my gosh.
It
really did.
Incredible.
He looked like what a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle should look like in the movie.
Yes. Yes.
He looked like a Koopa from like the Mario movie or something.
Yeah.
Like it was so silly.
From the old 80s Mario movie.
Mhm.
They completely
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right. Whitney, you're our guest. Start us off.
I mean, this was really fun. Once we got into the Book of Bob and started getting into all because I was wondering, I was like, how are they bringing this back to like holidays? Is it just the Christmas cookies and this has nothing to do with the holidays? And that was such a twist I was not prepared for. And I loved it when we got real Kris Kringle with his like 3 claws. They were very creepy. I also just like feel like at the end, he just like the werewolf and him were not fighting. They just kept talking.
We were just squaring up
like,
for a long time.
And I was really hoping like Phyllis was going to be like, that guy wouldn't shut up. But she didn't do that. But yeah, it was really fun. I do like, this is spoiler, my first like Creepshow episode of the season on Shudder. And so I liked how obviously stuff that would not have been within the budget of face melting and all the Kris Kringles and Santa Claus is coming in, like it zoomed out and did it in comic form. I did enjoy that because obviously there's a budgetary restraint, but it worked really well.
Yeah. All right, Mondo.
Yeah, I'm with you. I absolutely loved this episode. I say sometimes, like doing Black Mirror. No offense, Jason. Black Mirror is an amazing show, but I had a really rough day at work today. I'm on the road here in Palm Springs. For anybody that's ever been to Palm Springs, like why? Why do people come here? It's fucking. I
have friends that
here.
love it.
I don't
know. They also
I don't
like
get
visiting Vegas, so I do think they're kind of weird.
Yeah, but I fucking live there.
No, but like they visit like downtown. They visit Vegas.
We can get downtown Vegas though. Is the Arts District now? That's the place to be. It really is. That place is cool. 15 years ago was where you went to get stabbed. Now you can actually have some good beer and some good Italian food.
Hey, some people might like that. Don't kink shame.
I mean, you can do whatever you want to do. But good luck explaining that to the police. No, officer, she wanted me to stab her. Not a conversation anybody wants to have. But this one, I threw this on right when I got back. Had a rough day at work, and I'm thinking, man, I got to watch something. It's been a long day. And I had a smile on my face from start to end in this episode. It's exactly what I needed after a long day. A couple goofy things we didn't mention. When they're trying to figure out how he became a werewolf. And like, maybe you were cursed. And then it's his old crotchety neighbor who just, you make too much noise. He goes, I'm sorry. And like through the door, you hear her just go, a curse on you.
But that was also after the werewolf killing started. So
right, no, it's just funny because that's what his recollection of.
It's fine. He said he brushes his teeth too loud.
That and him trying to use a firearm. Like I love when he keeps pointing at the guy and he keeps pushing the barrel away.
That was so good.
And then the magazine. He goes yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker! And then immediately the magazine falls out of the gun. I was just dying.
And it happens so many times. And I like that they're like, he can't even get the clip in. It was good.
And then the ending, perfect, with Santa Claus and the badass armor. And how they say, they call him Santa Claus because it's a mispronunciation of Satan's Claus. I'm like, that's clever as shit. So I absolutely love this episode.
I like this episode a lot, not to the level of you guys, but I do like it a lot.
Obviously.
Of course not.
Well, yeah, it's interesting because there's a hard turn. The first half is kind of like, okay, this kind of werewolf mystery almost. You kind of try and figure out this quirky like support group and all these interesting characters. I love Anna Camp. She's just always kind of delightful. Like Pitch Perfect and like in The Help and Mindy Project and True Blood. She's always a delight. And to kind of see her let loose even more on this was really fun. I'm curious, like, if those were the same actors in like a lot of those suits, the monster suits, because sometimes they put like a stunt performer or something. I looked on IMDb and I didn't see anything, but there is like a lot of call outs to like American Werewolf in London and Ginger. Like they make a reference to Ginger Snaps with one of the characters named Ginger something.
Howling.
The Howling.
They reference the Howling.
And even like the original like Universal Wolfman. There's a lot of little references that are really fun in this episode. And yeah, I love the whole cast is really, really good. And yeah, effects wise, holy crap. But it's like, there's more just recalibrating for the second half, where it just goes balls to the wall. And that fucking Santa Claus it looks like the armor from Bram Stoker's Dracula, the Francis Ford Coppola.
Yeah. That shiny red.
Like Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah. There you go.
And like almost kind of like Iron Man, the way it's just kind of like moving around and stuff. It was just so freaking cool.
He had the Krampus like hollow eyes too, which was really cool. His eyes just being like black, and I like the naughty. They do obviously the like, am I on the list? And Phyllis is like, you want me to check it again? And it was just they did all the perfect like Christmas.
Yeah,
lore,
and then
I guess
the way that they're like kind of like fighting, but not really. It looked like those like animations you see like on the menu select for a fighting game. Where they're kind of like,
Yeah, the Santa versus Werewolf showdown was a lot of like standing, like moving, ready to fight, but nothing actually happened.
Like
right.
the big characters that you can buy at Spirit Halloween that are really expensive, but just like don't move. It was just like they were very stationary.
I was a little disappointed we didn't get a were-hippo. I was kind of like getting excited.
Oh, me
Are they gonna do
too.
it?
I know. I wanted her to be a hippo.
So I wanted her to be a hippo, but the wish was so perfect and
Yes.
funny that I have no regrets about it.
I
mean,
don't know who this
she
little
did the
Yachty
right
guy
thing.
is, but yeah.
I do love when the werebore guy is like, you know how difficult it is to be a boar? Like, yeah, sure. While I'm a boar, a 6-pack of tall boys tastes good, but when you're pooping it out, it's not so comfortable.
That's such a great point about werewolves that I don't think anyone's really ever talked about. It's just like what happens to their bowel movements after a full moon? Like that would be awful.
Wait. The only thing Ryan did that was kind of an asshole move is he also ate that woman's dog.
Oh no, that was
'Cause
Robert.
Robert, yeah.
Robert. Oh, it was Robert. Okay.
Yeah,
That
but
was an annoying
Ryan's
dog.
the big silent guy.
yeah.
Sorry, I know there's some Chihuahua lovers in here.
Yeah.
I love a Chihuahua when they're not.
Yeah, so just to do the
Yappy.
cast rundown, Robert's played by Adam Paley. He's kind of a bit actor, a lot of like character stuff. Like he was in Iron Man 3, Dirty Grandpa, and Sonic the Hedgehog, which is actually a really fun movie.
Those
he's
Sonic
Who was
movies
he in
are-
Sonic the Hedgehog?
He was Wade.
I don't know who Wade is.
He's kind of a side character.
He's in both
Oh,
of the
okay.
movies. So
Yeah. We talked about Anna Camp. The guy who plays the turtle guy, he was actually in the Blair Witch Project 2. I'm not entirely sure who, but he's also in Stranger Things. The guy who played the werehog is played by Frank Nicotero, which I think is like the cousin of Greg Nicotero, the director of this. He was in Wishmaster, and also one of my all-time favorite titles of a movie, Ginger Dead Man 2, Passion of the Crust.
and that's
We have a
probably,
full moon week on Oh My Horror, so you can pick
there
that
you
one.
I will say that based on Ginger Dead Man 1, that's probably the funniest thing about that entire movie is that
Sure.
title right there.
A great title. And then, the guy who plays Ryan/Bob, that guy's huge.
He was very large. And then he
He-
didn't have his shirt on at the end.
I know, for an extended period of time.
Very nice.
He does a lot. He's done a lot of stunt work. He's been an actor in Cobra Kai, Shazam, Renfield, Jumanji: Next Level. And then the woman who plays Phyllis is Candy McLennan. She's relatively new, but I'd like to see her in a lot more things. I thought she was really, really good.
She was
I
fun.
liked her a lot.
She was in
She was very
Hawkeye
fun.
and Atlanta. And like I said, this episode was directed by Greg Nicotero. Again, this was one of the COVID episodes they did to kind of, bridge over until they could do a full season 2.
Which is crazy. Like for this to be a COVID episode, there are so many of those like Santa Clauses, and like they were able to make it really feel big. This doesn't feel like COVID to me. Like the other one felt like COVID. This one doesn't feel like COVID.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I do also like how they convert the church into this like battle stations and like guns flipping out everywhere.
The camera placement is interesting because I don't know if they have like a satellite one that was filming the roof.
Yeah.
I don't know where that one was coming from, but they got some budget for SA. I can't remember.
The Shapeshifters Anonymous.
Shapeshifters Anonymous.
Shapeshifters Anonymous.
Shapeshifters works too, since there was a lot of conversation about
Right.
fecal matter in this one.
My only question, again, logically, if they have this like bunker, basically, like why don't they have an escape route? They just have the one way to get in or out, but that's not
And
here or there.
yeah, it seemed like they were prepared for this, and this has happened before. So I don't know.
If they're prepared, they should have had more ammo, though. I feel like you
Yeah, that
want
too.
to
Probably a good
stockpile
idea.
ammo.
And this is America. Come on.
Yeah, and he's an ex-marine, so he can get it.
Yeah, you can buy ammo from Walmart, I think. I don't know.
Oh, you can.
You can.
Sadly,
I thought they
Um,
stopped selling it. I don't remember, though.
But the whole thing with the magazine keep falling out. That was a really good bit. But yeah, this is a really fun episode.
Yeah, Jason says this is a fun episode. I give it a 2 out of 5. No, but I didn't really get my turn here. Like everybody else got to talk. So I have to talk about this one because I love this. Like I watched this one with my daughter immediately after we recorded one of our previous episodes, I was like, hey, what are we going to watch tonight? Let's watch something short. Why don't we watch next week's Creepshow? And I had forgotten how good this was. Like, I remembered liking it, but I absolutely loved it because it's so ridiculous, and they just keep upping it and upping it and upping it. I also love, evil Santa Clauses. Like, that's always fun for me. And this is full of evil Santa Clauses. There's more evil Santa Clauses in this one than anything else I've ever seen. And the ridiculous effects, the crazy, like, Santa suit with his Satan claws, all of that. Like, again, if there could have been an episode made for me, it was this one. And the whole weird, like, Bob backstory, like, that's perfect. I love it. I love all that.
So who wins in a fight?
The lore.
Yeah.
Like, I just want, like, more about, like, you have all this. I love
Book
it.
of
Like, all
Bob.
the Santa Claus, the mall Santa Clauses are really, like, undercover and doing all this. And they even talk about, like, well, what's with the toy giving? And they was like, oh, well, he kind of felt bad because he was killing all these parents. So he just goes out and gives toys to the orphans.
I forgot the name. I think the turtle guy shows a scar in his neck. He goes, oh yeah, he killed my parents. He also gave me a train set.
He gave me this and a train set.
Yeah, I could have easily watched a whole movie of this, like, instead of a 45-minute episode. There's enough here that I think you could have stretched it into an entire movie if you had wanted to. More mall Santas, something. You could have done something with it.
So
yeah, the original fighting, get some face goo in there. Yeah. Face melting.
My burning question was, who wins in a fight? Kris Kringle or Bill Goldberg Santa Claus from Santa's Sleigh?
Because
that's what I want to see.
I think the claws win.
It is a little advantage.
Did he actually kill
It's
anyone?
Kevlar. He has the Kevlar suit.
Does he actually kill anyone with those claws in this episode?
No.
He kills a Santa Claus, I think.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's right.
That's it.
Like, dying, and he reaches down and kills him.
That's cool. All right. Any closing thoughts?
I definitely want to watch more Creepshow shows after this, because, like, I was thinking of it as, like, I just watched some Goosebumps episodes, Werewolf of Fever Swamp for a friend of the podcast, Alyssa and Courtney's, The Silver Scream. And I was just like, oh, this is just like grown-up Goosebumps.
Yeah.
Well,
now that we've completely finished season 1 and the specials that came with it, I will say season 1 is very solid. Like, I think you're not going to be disappointed by it.
Right.
You like fun, and it's fun.
It is fun.
It's fun.
People nitpick.
That's sometimes why I like Black Mirror. Was just like, I don't know if I want to watch the new seasons, because there's just like sometimes where it's like, if it's like too
sad,
or like if it's too close to what's kind of going on, I just kind of don't want to go there. So yeah, fun. I need that.
But
same here. But someone made me watch them, so I had to watch them.
They're good though.
They're very good. They're fantastic.
High quality depression.
Yeah, and to kind of wrap up on like season 1 of Creepshow, I would definitely, there's some segments are better than others, but they paired them well enough where I would not say there's a dud full episode in the entire season.
No, there was definitely some lesser ones, but nothing bad at all. And for the most part, everything was pretty fun.
Yeah, and even the lesser ones, like, they just had missed potential. Like, there was good stuff there, just they just didn't hit the mark. But what was there was still good. It's just didn't quite execute as well.
After watching,
I wouldn't say none of them are like unwatchable or bad or anything.
No.
So,
there's no bad ones in season 1.
And whenever you do it, you're going to have hits and misses. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
But it's
anthology for you.
Yeah,
100%. There's got to be a stinker. I mean, there's got to be one that's like the lesser.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the whole point. You're swinging for the fences in different ways. So some hit, some don't. But as long as there's not, they're all very, very, very watchable at the very least. And at the best, they're excellent. So, all right. Well, let's do our episode rating: 0 to 5, 5 being the best, 0 being the worst. Whitney, what do you give this episode?
I mean, I don't have a ton to go off of, but for me, this was really solid. So I'd say a 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5 mall Santas.
Decapitated mall Santas.
There you go, decapitated.
All right, Jody.
I already told you. This is 5 for me. Like, easy.
8 out of 5.
8 out of 5.
All right, Mondo.
All right, I'm gonna go a little bit lower than Jody. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 5.
Excellent. Thank you.
I absolutely love this, and like I said, I watched it. I know, like Jody, we're gonna be in the same wavelength on this because this is like right up our alley of just schlocky, good fun.
All right, I'm with Whitney. It's a solid 4. Solid 4. I still think there's better episodes in this season, but this one's very fun.
So what Jody often says at the end of a film, if he's got a big smile on his face, it's a 5. I think Jason's the opposite. If at the end of a movie or show he has a big smile on his face, he removes a star just in case.
How dare you give me joy?
I enjoy this way too much.
I usually do that. It's always like when I would go to Terror Tuesdays, like there would be really bad movies, but like I would have a blast with them, and I would be like, I'm rating it off of the movie, but when I have fun, I give it a heart because like at that point, it was just like I had a really fun time. Like Trog is not a good movie, but I had a fun time watching Trog.
See, I
would recommend.
I put a disclaimer in my letterbox that is, I rate based on how much fun I had with something, like how much I enjoyed it. It's not about necessarily the quality of it, but if I watched a movie that was, maybe lesser quality, lower budget, whatever, but I had a freaking great time with it, it's going to get a high rating from me.
I'm not knocking critics, but there's sometimes like I saw someone today bashing Abigail, and I was like, "That
Abigail is fun."
Yeah, but I was like, "Yeah, all your criticisms are valid, but like, did you watch some movie with the intention of nitpicking it or the intention of having a good time?"
Yeah,
and
critics, yes,
yeah. And I will totally admit I fall into that sometimes, where like I can't turn off my critical brain on some things.
Yeah, it depends on the mood too. It's like
I can shut that thing down immediately and watch the crap and have a great time.
I mean,
Jody is the king of dissociation.
I'm also the person that like absolutely is over the moon for like the 80s Masters of the Universe movie. I can watch that over and over again. Like, we all have our things.
I
100%.
I got a message today from Jason that was like, "Oh my god, have you never seen Masters of the Universe?" I'm like, "No, I have. I just put it on something so I can watch it again."
I watched that so many times on VHS as a kid that the tape literally fell apart.
They just did a recent, I think, 4K Steelbook.
I know.
Yep. Getting fancy with your Masters of the Universe.
Father's Day is coming up. Hint, hint, family. that don't listen to my podcast.
I was about to say, because no one here is buying you that for Father's Day.
All right.
I'd be lucky if my dad gets a Father's Day gift. Just because he's really hard to shop for.
Also, we didn't mention it, but happy Mother's Day to all the wonderful mothers that listen to our podcast. We didn't.
Cody didn't get me anything. Really upsetting.
Maybe he wanted to.
Oh, Cody is a tiny little dog, so
he wanted to get you something. He just didn't have thumbs, so he couldn't go do anything.
He just doesn't speak enough English to buy anything from the store.
He misplaced his wallet. Like, doesn't have thumbs. It's a whole mess.
All right, so Mondo, here's a test for you. Did you listen to last week's episode?
No. No, I'm sorry.
You don't know what I chose for the song of the day to.
I know someone's going to piss me off.
Spotify algorithm.
No, I usually
do with it.
Led Zeppelin.
And say I had nothing to do with it. This was all Jason.
I wish I would have, because if it was Led Zeppelin, I would fucking have edited that shit out, and there would not have been a song of the day segment.
It was. God, what was the name of the segment, Jody? Remind me. It was like
so it was Survivor song or something Survivor.
I hope it was Destiny's Child Survivor.
It was.
Oh shit! Right on.
Yeah,
because I totally forgot about that.
Survivor Type.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that segment until like right when we came up to it, and I just look down and I see Survivor, Destiny's Child. Okay, go.
Yeah, I'll go back and listen to it, but I didn't actually watch that episode yet because I was just feeling really terrible. Yeah.
I just like the idea of like the Dads from the Crypt Spotify playlist is all these like metal songs, and then Destiny's Child Survivor comes on.
That's exactly what I said. Is someone's going to be just listening to this playlist, vibing along, Desecrated Corpse, and then the next song is Survivor by Destiny's Child. I don't know if Desecrated Corpse is a band, but it probably is.
It should
probably.
Encyclopedia Metallum, here we come. But yeah, it's me. I'm the one listening to that playlist. That's like, you know what? It's a great playlist because I curated most of it. So,
There you go.
Exactly. All right, but Mondo, what is the song of the week for this week?
I completely forgot to do a song of the week. No, I'm just kidding. Actually,
I was gonna say you could pick a song from the Cheetah Girls if you want to go along with the Destiny's Child.
I don't know
Podcast's
who
going
they
off the
are.
rails.
But
That's probably a good thing.
are they also enamored with catnip?
I don't know. Probably.
So there's a short little man who passed away back in 2008, I think, or 9, named Ronnie James Dio. Ronnie James Dio was the vocalist for Rainbow with Ritchie Blackmore of Deep Purple fame, and they did an album called Rising. And on that album, they have a song about werewolves called Run with the Wolf.
Ooh.
And it's super straight power metal with Ronnie James Dio being the best vocalist ever. And the real funny part about Ronnie James Dio is in 80 or 79, I think, he joined Black Sabbath after they fired Ozzy. How he joined Black Sabbath was he was at the Rainbow Bar and Grill in Los Angeles, where all the rock stars hang out, and he just happened to bump into Tony Iommi, the guitarist for Black Sabbath, and he's like, and they're just shooting the shit, and Dio's like, yeah, I'm looking for a new band now. I think I'm done with Rainbow, and Tony Iommi goes, oh hey, we just fired Ozzy, you should come sing for us. And that was pretty much how he became the vocalist of Black Sabbath. And he was phenomenal. And rest in peace. If you guys ever want to see something really cool, look up pictures of his house. He put it on the market. His wife put it on the market maybe like 10 years ago or so. And it looked like what you imagine a short little power metal guy's house to look like. It was straight medieval house. It's fucking awesome. I hope whoever bought it didn't change a thing, because if I was a billionaire, I'd have bought that house and it would have been a museum, because that's how cool it was. Yeah, so this week, Run with the Wolf by the band Rainbow off their album Rising.
Thank you, Mondo. All right,
You're
Jody,
welcome.
you got some horror news for us.
Yeah, let's talk releases first. So as of today, May 14th, you can at home now watch Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire, which, I mean, if you're into the legendary Godzilla movies, it's pretty fun. I saw it in theater with my son. It's a big, over-the-top, like, CGI battle between two giant monsters. That's fun. It's a good time.
I want to watch it, but I didn't go see it because it came out right after Godzilla -1.
Yeah.
And it's tonally so different.
Oh,
And
yeah.
now I'm back into this like old school Godzilla mindset where,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'll watch it eventually.
That's one of those things that my son and I talked about afterwards, is because we saw Godzilla -1 also in theaters, and what a different experience those two movies were. They're going for completely different things. They have completely different tones, so I was okay with that. But yeah, no, it's completely different than watching -1 in theaters. Other things coming out this Friday, whatever date that happens to be, the 17th. The Strangers, Chapter 1 comes to theaters, and I plan on seeing it this week. I've heard some good things about it from people, so I'm hopeful that it's going to be as good as... Well, the thing is, I like both the Strangers movies. I like The Strangers and I like Prey at Night, but they're completely different movies, completely different tones. So I don't know exactly what I'm getting into with this new one. I think it leans more towards the first one, but I mean, these characters freak me out, so I'm down for it.
Yeah, I'm down for more no reasoning. So hopefully, like, they don't give it too much reasoning. It didn't sound like it. I saw like a teaser, and it was the whole
but there's
because you
three-
were home. Because that's what scared me about the
Because we
Strangers
were home
when
is
I
the
was.
scariest thing about it. Yeah.
It's so scary.
But then with 3 movies, I'm like, then what are they gonna do? There's
Just
a lot
more.
Of,
Yeah, you don't really have to. You don't
I,
have
they
to.
don't
do
have, I
anything.
don't want them to. That's why I'm afraid they're gonna like. Oh,
Yeah, I think it's just
Yeah.
more of this. I know our friend Allison recently went and saw it as an early preview, and she told me it leaned more towards the scary side of things, and it was just like a couple in a cabin and these guys. So, maybe it's a retread of the first. I'm fine with that. Just
The
about
first
anything.
came out so long
It was a
ago
long time
too that
Yeah.
like it's okay I feel like to have a retread and introduce new people that maybe aren't watching movies from 2000 9 or whenever that movie came out, because I was in college and I remember watching it with 4 people, and just I think I lived alone at that time, and I was terrified to go back to my apartment.
Ooh, that was 2008.
Oh,
A long time ago.
okay, maybe I didn't live alone, but it was still scary.
Hey, the first time I didn't watch it when it came out, and the first time I watched it, I was a full-grown adult, like married with kids, and I watched it late at night by myself, and I heard sounds outside, and it made me
I was
like,
gonna say, you live in the woods, so like, you were the setting.
that is true.
I saw the French one, Ills or Them, in the theater here in Vegas right when it came out. So I actually put off seeing the Strangers for a couple years because I thought, it's just an American remake of Them. But no, they're very different movies and both fantastic.
I forgot it was a remake.
So anyway,
it's not a remake.
Or remake or something.
It felt like a remake because the story is very, very, similar. But they go in different directions and they achieve what they're trying to achieve in different ways. And highly recommend both of those.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go see the new one this week. Hopefully, I'll have good things to say about it afterwards. Another one coming out this week that I don't know if I'm going to go see in theaters is I Saw the TV Glow. It comes out on the same day. I Saw the TV Glow looks interesting. It's made by the same people who made We're All Going to the World's Fair that I watched at CFF a couple years ago. That movie did not hit for me at all. I felt like I was old the entire time I watched it. And so if this is more geared to that same audience as the last one, I'm still too old.
Yeah,
I've just gotten old.
I turned that off. I don't turn a lot of movies off, but I was like, this is
not for me.
I finished it,
yeah, but it's not for me.
Yeah,
same thing. I didn't understand half of it because I'm like, what are all these references they're making? What are these kids talking about?
Yeah, I want to support them in independent films, so I'll stream it when it's available. Yeah, it's not the content I'm going to run.
Yeah, I'll probably check it out at some point, but I'm not in a rush just because their last one didn't hit for me. But a lot of people loved that first one, and it meant a lot to them, and it was really spooky. Great. If that works for you, great.
Yeah,
that's exciting that they get a release too. Yeah. Going from Film Fest, and I remember I caught it on streaming at some point because I did hear all the hype, and I was just like, I just don't get it.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
I didn't get it.
It wasn't made for 39-year-old
really
married
creepy,
men.
really creepy poster.
Yeah.
Like visually. So
the trailer was good too, and I remember being really excited to watch it. And you ever watch a movie that you really want to love, so you're trying to trick yourself into really liking it, but I was like, nah, this is not for me. Like a lot of great stuff in that. I saw what they're trying to do, and I really respect that, but just wasn't for my my old ass.
We're officially too old.
I'm too old.
I was too old for that movie for sure. And then from the theater to the much lower budget, Tubi is releasing a Tubi original slasher, a From Dusk Till Dawn inspired horror comedy called Slay. Came out there before. Low Lives came out, and this one is called Killer Body Count that releases on Tubi this week. So you know what?
Go Tubi.
Slashers. I'm
Good
not
for
gonna,
them.
Yeah, I feel like I can say this about Tubi. I hate commercials more than anything.
I hate commercials too. It's really awful.
So I have maybe illegally obtained some movies on Tubi from Tubi because people will cut the commercials out and then release it on websites.
I think Tubi's commercials are like the least egregious. I watched a movie streaming for free through Plex. And
oh my god, the worst!
It was a foreign film. It was Mother, the Korean one. So it was very jarring to go into like an English or a Spanish commercial, which I don't know why I get served Spanish commercials. Maybe it's because of my partner, but like that's a new thing that's been happening. And it was like that movie was already like over 2 hours long, and I just kept being like, oh, it's almost over. And then like it was like every 10 minutes. It was so intense.
Well, and I feel like Tubi actually like tries to put their commercials at reasonable places.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whereas some of these other free ones like Plex or whatever, they just throw them in mid-sentence, mid-word. Action scene, like climax of the movie, whatever. Commercial time. I hate it.
And the commercials a lot of times are way louder than the movies.
Yes.
That's the worst.
And then your eardrums get
when
blasted
you
out.
just get started awake.
At least they don't seem to
Plex does have Plex does have a setting though to limit loud sounds. And it does have that kind of stuff.
I say at least Tubi doesn't seem to like repeat the commercials. I don't mind commercials, but if you repeat the same one over and over again, that's when I start to be like, okay, fuck this.
I have I have definitely watched an entire movie with commercials throughout the whole thing, but it was the same commercial every single commercial break.
This is how fucking it's how fucking Hulu got me to pay for the commercial-free version.
Yes.
Because it was the same 2 fucking commercials for the entire program.
They won. They won.
The worst time that happened to me was on Twitch, because they got rid of Twitch Prime, and I had to, for work, like go to different Twitch accounts and like watch a clip or something and like load up their Twitch, and I kept getting the same. I swear, like I opened up 10 channels, and every channel they served me the Clorox bleach commercial, and I just was like, I need to be given like a free, like an ad-free version of Twitch for my job. Like, this is insane. It was awful.
I'm very close to paying for YouTube just to get the same damn sticker mural and over and over. But
so during the pandemic, I started paying for YouTube Premium because I got tired of watching commercials, and I can never go back now.
Yeah.
It is.
I am
so
upset
awesome.
because Fabio has YouTube Premium, and so like when I watch stuff on his, I'm gonna have to just start watching stuff on his channel and just fucking up his algorithm.
I think for like $5 more a month, you can do a family plan. And you can have multiple people.
Oh yeah, we talked about looking into that.
How much is YouTube?
Like $15, I think.
Yeah, I think 15 or something.
That's kind of
a month.
I think so. Yeah.
Ooh,
sorry.
Calm down.
Sorry, I think it's 10. I think it's 10 a month. Take that back.
No, calm down. It needs to be $5.
Yeah,
nuts,
like
man.
I was thinking $5 I would do it.
I don't care. Like, not have to watch commercials. I'm in for it because I watch a lot.
At least you can skip them. At least you can skip most of them.
This is true.
Twitch, you cannot skip a commercial on Twitch.
What I do a lot of the time is like I'll be playing like solitaire, and then I'll have like YouTube minimized, so I have to go back to YouTube and skip through. Yeah.
All right. Other news.
Anyway, back to Tubi.
Well, not Tubi this time. This is about
not to be.
This is about Amazon Prime, who also
wow.
likes to stick ads in places there shouldn't be.
Dad.
Okay. YouTube Premium is $13.99 a month.
That's too much for
That's
YouTube.
so expensive.
No, it's not.
I understand, but also I just hate paying for streaming.
I can skip an ad in 5 seconds. I will say it was annoying. I kept getting a Covered California ad, which was like, it felt really personal because like, obviously I just was like researching that, and they were like, plans free available for $1 a month. And I'm like, yeah, well, mine's like $450 a month. So like, fuck you. Stop serving me with this ad.
All right.
All right,
Okay.
so back to Prime Video. Prime Video has officially announced that they will be making The Boys Season 5, which is excellent news because we haven't gotten Season 4 yet. So to already know Season 5 is coming, excellent. That show is so good.
That is a very good show.
And they are putting Homelander in the new Mortal Kombat 1.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, nice crossover.
He's
Good for
in there
them.
with,
He's right
with
for that.
well, he's also in there with Omni-Man.
Cool.
And oh my god, Peacekeeper.
What?
Yeah.
That's
I bet Fortnite will get that at some point. But it might be too... No, kids still get it.
Yeah.
Kids watch anything. What am I saying? It's too adult for children.
Yeah.
Playing Grand Theft Auto.
All
They
right.
can watch The Boys.
2 more pieces of news.
hold on. There are parts of The Boys like the orgy scene
Hero-gasm?
that your kid should not be watching.
The Hero-gasm episode.
They're playing Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
Still,
My
yeah.
So my 15-year-old asked, "Hey, so I've heard a lot about The Boys. I've heard a lot about Invincible. How do you feel about me watching those?" I'm like, "Invincible? Yes. Watch Invincible. It's great. Boys, maybe wait just a little while on that one."
He's watching it behind your back now.
I was just gonna say, like, you're acting like it's not like you're showing
know.
them to your kids.
No, I know. He was asking though. He did at least ask what I thought about them and if I thought they'd be okay. So it's something. He
You
came.
have good kids.
All right. Other stuff. NECA has finally revealed their Krampus figure that they announced like 2 years ago, and it looks freaking awesome.
Yes,
It's
it does.
huge. It's 10 inches tall. It's fully like detailed. Only downside, it's $100, but I do have it pre-ordered, so
Oof.
whatever. I've been
I'm
waiting
taking
on this
that.
one for too long to not get it once it comes out. It looks so good. I'll send you a picture. It's incredible.
You could have
It's
saved like
badass.
$10 every month, and been able to
that's kind of
buy
what I'm
2.
planning. It's coming out sometime this fall.
I mean,
Yeah,
and for just $14 a month, you could have your YouTube Premium and not have to watch ads. So,
or a Krampus statue.
Or a 10-inch tall Krampus figure. Come on.
or
All right,
both. Let's do both.
last thing here. Last thing here is Mike Flanagan, who I am a huge fan of. I love his stuff.
Yeah.
He is reportedly in talks to take over the Exorcist franchise. It's not. I don't think it's official yet, right? It's still kind of.
I did not hear about this.
I heard
So
about it.
It's
Flanagan is in
rumor mill right
talks
now.
to direct the next Exorcist sequel after David Gordon Green broke it. So now we're bringing in a good director to fix it, and so I'm hoping that happens.
If there's anyone that can, I think it's him.
I think he could do it. Yeah,
but I feel like you have to start over. I feel
Yeah,
like
clean
it's
slate.
like it has to be kind of like what he did, or like, well, kind of what David Gordon Green did was like Halloween 1 and then the sequel. We're
Right.
gonna be like, this is a sequel, but just like Exorcist Believer doesn't exist.
you just have to pretend that movie's not there. Yeah,
What I
Yeah.
really hope is that Jody sits down to watch this film and you get the nice like dark scene that
Oh
comes in,
no.
and then you see the priest walk in the scene, and it's Rohan Campbell, the man who played Corey in Halloween.
No! That'd be the ultimate troll.
Yeah. Mr. Flanagan, if you're listening, just
Please
throwing
don't.
this out there.
I hope there's a cameo.
I'm down for that guy being in a different role. If I could see him in a different movie, maybe I would have a different opinion about him. But so far, all I've seen him in is Halloween Ends, and that did not put a good impression on me.
Have we checked to see if that man is not doing cameos? Because like
Oh,
I think he
he's
is.
doing
I
conventions,
remember hearing
so.
that.
maybe there's a good Father's Day gift in there for Jody.
But speaking of Mike Flanagan, our good friend Allison just got the chance. This is crazy. She just got to interview Mike Flanagan for her podcast, Who's There? A podcast that I was the first guest on, and now Mike Flanagan is a guest. So she has really moved up since she
Look how far
started.
you've gone.
Look how far she's come from me to Mike Flanagan. It's great.
Hey, all I hear from that is a friend of a friend could put in a good word to
You
get
don't think I
Flanagan
told
on
you that
this podcast.
You don't
Yeah.
think I already said that to her the moment she told me she was going to talk with Mike Flanagan? I'm like, she asked if we had
So-
any questions for him, and I'm like, okay, my question is, do you like Tales from the Crypt? And would you like to be on a podcast about it?
Supposedly, he's a big Demon Knight fan. So never
What?
seen
Ooh.
Let's
We
go
can do-
back and redo Demon Knight again.
I was about to say I'm
With
down
Mike
for
Flanagan.
Demon Knight
Yeah,
revisited.
I'm not saying no, but we have a connection there, so who knows?
All right,
Let's
new
do
idea.
it. Make
Once
this
a year, we do Demon Knight, and we pretend like we never seen it.
That'd be great.
But
You
no,
get a really awesome guest each time. That'd
Yes,
be great.
that'd actually be really fun if we act like it's our first watch every single time.
but no, I listened to like the first half of the interview this morning, and it's fantastic.
Yeah.
He's such a cool guy, and Allison's such a good interviewer, and she gets some
Yeah.
really good, deep personal stuff. I was really impressed. So
That's
everyone
awesome.
should go listen to the Who's There podcast. And like I was talking to her, while she was planning, she like wasn't sure if it was actually going to happen or not, and we had to reschedule once or something like that. So good on her for being persistent and sticking with that. I love seeing that kind of thing coming together.
And,
It's
and
so
she,
satisfying.
when she posted it, she said the same thing that we've been saying here on this show. Shoot your shot, man. Like,
Yes.
what's it hurt to ask? The
Yeah.
guests
The worst
we've
they can
had-
do is say no.
Yeah, the guests
Like-
we've had are insane, and it's just the exact same thing. We just asked. We asked
Mhm.
Yeah.
somebody, and somebody said yes, and that's how we got to talk to these
And like
people.
Whenever-
kudos to people that do that too. It's like there's probably so many offers out there, but they see what fans are doing, and like if Mike Flanagan is a fan of
Yes.
horror.
Yeah.
Like, and his letterbox is the best. If you
It's
don't
so good.
go on his letterbox,
seen it.
Talked
like
about-
it's so good.
Okay, in the interview,
His recommended gateway.
Martyr.
horror
His recommended
filtering.
Yeah.
gateway horror is so
So
fun.
in the interview, he talks about how that he does that in real life to people too.
Like recommends like crazy movies.
Yes.
Okay, I have a friend. I have to tell a story. I have a friend who has a crush, and she was like, she loves film. He likes movies, so she's trying to think about like ways that she can like casually have something come together. And she sees that Possessor is at a
Oh,
theater, and she was like,
no.
"Do you think you could take a first date to Possessor?" And everybody at the table was like, "Absolutely not, Kylie." like, oh, sorry, not possessor, possession.
Oh, okay. I was about to say that's.
So-
I was going to ask,
Wait.
what's a worse first date, possessor or possession?
Possession. Sorry, I get them mixed up.
Wait,
Not
which
the
one's
Cronenberg
Possessor?
one.
Wait, which one's
The
Possessor?
one with Sam Neill.
Possession is the one that involves the squid and the loving. The loving
Lots of like domestic abuse,
a lot of
abortion conversations, and I was
It's-
just like, Kylie, no, like, listen to me, no, like,
I love that
absolutely
movie.
not.
I love it, but it's fucking depressing. And just when
Yeah.
things about to lighten up, it gets worse. Like it just.
It is not fun. Like, what conversation are you gonna have after that? And it was like, absolutely not. Go watch any other movie with this person.
The conversation of them leaving the theater and then both going, well, and just walking different directions.
I was like, do you want to see this person again? Like,
Alright.
oh,
So the moral of the story is go listen to Who's There podcast.
Yes, do.
yeah.
And also, speaking of interviews,
Congratulations.
when this comes out, our interview with Greg Nicotero and John Harrison will be out. And speaking of,
Jason
getting great
shooting his shot.
So, we got a lot of really good, interesting information, including what could have been for an extension of a segment from the original Creepshow movie that they were trying to make into a segment, but they couldn't for many different reasons. But go listen to the episode to find out more about that. Really good.
And
Very
those you guys, and all our listeners out there know, you will find some weird cuts and edits in that because there wasn't.
Yeah, we had some.
So
Yeah, we recorded that a couple of weeks ago, and because we had so many recording issues, it's not the best, but we did the best we could. All right, thank you, Jody. All right, Whitney, you're going through a fun employment right now. Do you have any advice you give to someone else going through a similar situation to make it more bearable?
I would say, like, keep a schedule. I try to not look at LinkedIn in the evening, on the weekends. Like, it's hard to not look at it 24/7 and just like refresh. And if you do happen to apply for a company or wanted to apply for a job and you have someone that you know that works there, you want to do a referral, ask them about the referral process before you apply. Because there's been a couple jobs that I've applied for and then asked for like a referral after applying. And they were like, I can't refer you now that you've applied. And I'm like, that seems like a really weird system, but I learned that the hard way. So just ask people, because apparently every company is different. Like, some are like, apply and then I'll refer you. Some are like, just send me your resume and you don't even have to apply. So it's all kind of crazy. Wake up, do a little, at some point, at least for me, like, I have to kind of job search every single week. So I didn't go and apply to every single job like day one because I needed to stretch it out. And I typically do job search and application, once or twice a week, and just, I'm shooting for something that I'm going to enjoy rather than taking the first thing that comes along.
Sure. Yeah.
Which
That's
I know
good
not
advice.
everyone can do. But if you can, take time to rethink what you want to do. There's a lot of layoffs happening right now. And there's a lot of, for me in my industry, it's kind of like, do I stay in this industry or do I do something adjacent? You're definitely not alone. And one day you will get to take off the open to work green banner off your LinkedIn profile.
all I know is when I was a kid, I feel like I was cheated because no one told me my job could be to like just hang out with otters and study them. No one told me that could be my job. And now I hate my life because that's all I want to do is hang out with otters and study them.
I'm sure marine biologists have just as hard a time finding jobs. I wanted to be a librarian, and I always kind of regret that I didn't go and get my master's and work in a library. But hey,
But the job
it is what it is.
The job search time can be a good time to reevaluate a little and maybe figure out what you want to do. Recalibrate where you're headed. So
yeah,
there are
jobs.
some positives.
There's jobs that exist out there. Like, I kind of got a lot of rejections, and then I saw a job that like is literally what I would really, really want to do. And the fact that a job like that exists is just reinvigorating of like, oh, there are people that value what I can do, and that there's jobs very specific to this. So taking the interviews that I can, but, not just going to take the first thing. And just good luck, it's fucking hard.
Yeah.
Go outside, touch grass.
No, you seem to be doing very well. So I'm happy that you're keeping the spirit.
Yeah. I'll say one more piece of advice, which came from my therapist. So, here's a $255 thing that I paid for free for you. Don't give up, obviously if your income is going to change, don't give up on the things that are good for your mental health. Obviously, I'm not going to give up therapy. I'm not going to give up the gym. Like those are kind of things that, you wouldn't give up having a doctor. So when there's things that are good for your mental health, like keep those things. You can find places to cut corners elsewhere, but things that are bringing you joy, like you don't have to be a hermit. You don't have to stay inside 24/7. Like you'll be able to do things with friends and family.
That's good advice. I think for a lot of people, like I'm in this boat now. My industry is really rocky. I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do if I get laid off? Like, no one's gonna pay me when I get paid now. But I really appreciate it. That's some good insight.
Yeah.
Also, the reason why I'm also an idiot is because I was thinking about this. Is when I was 17, I thought I could never be a marine biologist. I can't go through all that school. But then I paid fucking $3,000 to go to pro wrestling school and became a pro wrestler, and that didn't work out. I somehow thought that was gonna work out. I don't fucking know.
Hey, shoot your shot.
Mondo, what was
I
what
did.
was your name? What was your wrestling name?
I'm not saying my name on here. I don't want people to look it up and find it. I've actually said my name before on Slack. I don't think you can find me on the internet. If I ever talk to when my parents die, I'll go to the house and see, because I know there's a box there that I have old 8x10s in, and you won't even know I got the box. I'm just gonna randomly send you guys 8x10s. I'll even autograph them.
Amazing.
Well, now I know my new desktop background is going to be.
But there are some very famous pro wrestlers that when they were coming up, we were on the same age. I wrestled when I was in wrestling in California, and it was kind of cool. I'm still glad I had the experience. I'm very glad I tried. What frustrates me now is that if I was like 22 nowadays, and with my size, I could definitely be a pro wrestler, and I could definitely make it. But back then, it was such a cosmetic business. At the time, I was like 5'11" and 250 pounds, wrestler, football player. I was considered small. So, yeah. Whereas nowadays, I'd be a giant. And then Jason, you could be like the, if you watch this Always Sunny in Philadelphia, you could be the trash man. Thank you.
That's not where I thought I was going to go with that, but here we are.
Where'd you think I was going to go?
I have no idea, but not there.
Or you could be the Squatch.
Squatch. All right.
Beef Squatch.
Whitney, thank you so much for joining us. Where can people find more about Oh My Horror?
Yeah, so Oh My Horror, it's ohmyhorror.com. You can find all our themes for this year and the accompanying letterbox list. You can also see people that are participating. We have like so many people participating this year, which makes me so excited because I love seeing what other people are choosing this week. So you can check out other people's lists and follow their lists. And just come and watch along movies with us. Like I'm also on Instagram at Whitney Please. If you want to go on there and watch me bullshit around and post pictures of my dog and random things that I buy.
It is a very cute dog, just saying.
And even
it is a very cute dog.
And even if you can't commit to doing the whole thing, it is a great place for movie inspiration. You can get so many great ideas for things.
Yeah.
My ADHD does not allow me to stick to a year-long thing, but I keep hearing the conversations and the things people are talking about, and it makes me want to go watch movies that I wasn't going to watch otherwise.
Yeah, I'm the same boat.
100%.
With my work schedules and everything, I can't keep up every week, but I have been writing down a bunch of movies and putting them on my letterbox wish list I definitely want to watch based on feedback.
Yeah. It's one of those things that I always like. I started this as like a challenge for myself to get movies off my watch list and watch new movies. And, you know, obviously we're 5 months in now, so it's kind of daunting to be like, 20 weeks, I'm already 20 movies behind. Just jump in, or like if you're struggling to figure out what to watch, it's like a nice way to like narrow down, hey, I've never seen an Indonesian horror film, or hey, it's 80s week, like let's just watch an 80s movie. So it's just really fun, and it brings a lot of fun conversation as well.
Nice. All right. Well, next week we're going to start our review of the Twilight Zone movies with the episode of Back There. I just looked up on Just Watch where you can find Twilight Zone. It is on HD on Paramount app, which is funny in and of itself. It's also on Freevee and Pluto TV with ads. I would say I would love to watch it with the original ads, so maybe I'll try some.
Oh, it was the original? That'd be really cool. I wonder if it's on
would be
YouTube with the
I
original.
was gonna
ads.
say, I wonder if I can go on YouTube and find that. Not that I support, but that would be really cool to watch those.
You can't find like a specific episode sometimes, but if you do have cable, a lot of that stuff's in syndication. There are
Right.
stations out there that still play Twilight. I think Pluto actually has a 24-hour Twilight Zone channel. if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken.
I think you're
That's
right.
amazing.
So we'll have to, So we'll report back on where we were able to find this. But I'd love to be able to watch it with 1959 commercials. That'd be really cool.
Oh,
That would
be
be.
amazing. Love Rod Serling. I'm excited for this
Mhm.
next little evolution. I know you're not going to do the entire series of Twilight Zone yet, but
I mean, that
We'll
would
see if
cover
we
us for
like
the next
it.
few years. So
Yeah.
yeah.
We'll run out of Creepshow eventually.
All right. Well, we appreciate everyone for listening. We would really appreciate if you go us a rating or review on iTunes, or rating on Spotify, a like and subscribe on YouTube, and follow us at Dads from the Crypt Talk on the TikTok. And with that, we thank you for listening to Dads from the Crypt.
adios. Goodbye.
Follow Dads from the Crypt on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, or I will follow you to the grave. No, seriously, you really should watch. But be careful what you ask for. You may get it.